check my phone to see when that's going. It says that we are live, so I'm going to trust that that is so.
The technology wizards.
Right? Exactly. Make sure that that's all good and raring to go. Okay, so welcome everyone once again to another one of our passion sessions here at the Lynn Academy. So we have been offering these sessions with experts from the Lynn Academy for almost a couple months now, and so we're going to have a few more that come in June. Our whole purpose is to help you to get inspired, to think about what it is you aspire to, and hopefully inspire you to either follow some of the great kind of advice or tips or insight from our experts, or maybe start to do some own kind of soul searching, if you will, to see what is your passion, what is it that you want to do. So as a reminder, I'm Bill Schwingel. I am the host for these. I am also a graduate of the Lynn Academy. The Lynn Academy, for those who are just joining us, is a school that was founded by the fantastic Denise Lynn. Denise Lynn, yes, Denise Lynn, for those who aren't aware, is just one of those amazing people who has such insight and such gifts and shares them in such a beautiful and loving way, whether that's through feng shui or space clearing, soul coaching, gateway dreaming, and many others, including oracle cards, etc. So lots of things. If you want to learn more, go to the website thelynnacademy.com, and you'll find out more about the school, all of our practitioners, etc. But today, I'm very excited to have expert Alicia Love. So she is going to be talking to us about love and the divine feminine. And so I'll give you a little bit of background on her. So Alicia has been coaching for 18 years in the wellness field. She has a bachelor's degree in herbal science, is trained as a certified soul coach from the Soul Coaching International, and in spiritual life coaching from Life Purpose Institute. Through personal practice, meditation, and soul coaching, she has learned to trust her intuition as her guide. Alicia provides guided meditation journeys, Reiki, and uses various other healing modalities to help her clients recenter, clear away disempowering beliefs, release internal blocks, calm fears, and trust the guidance from within. Meditate with her also on Insight Timer or YouTube channel. Welcome, Alicia. It's so exciting to have you. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you, Bill. It's such an honor to be here. I just want to shout out to Denise because I just love her so much, and I've gotten so much from the wisdom that she's brought to the world. And I consider her one of my grandmother teachers now at this point. And
absolutely,
that was kind of the entrance for me into my spiritual path, was this energy of grandmothers that just sort of enveloped me. And I think that's partly how I magnetized the book, Soul Coaching. This is just a book to start with, you can find it and follow through on your own. And I did that 28-day program so many times myself. And every time the layers got deeper and deeper and deeper, that I finally was like, this is my calling. This is what I want to do. And reached out to Denise and Meadow and had lots of conversations back and forth. But actually, one of her trainers is who I took the course with, Kyla Tustin, of course.
Oh, of course.
And she was in, she's based out of Australia, but she was in New York City and just happened to be flying home and could pass through my city of Portland, Oregon to train me. And I was so grateful. So it's those kinds of synchronicities that have woven me into this path that I'm on now. And it really started with a very conventional path, even though I have an unconventional past. My parents are artists, and I knew I wanted to do some sort of alternative healing modality. My dad became a chiropractor when I was in high school. And so I was like, maybe I'll follow the doctor path. And that's why I ended up at Bastyr University studying herbal science, because herbal medicine was definitely my entry point into the body and healing and understanding energetics and all of that. So when I was in college and I thought I was going to be a doctor, I was going to go on to the naturopathic field, I was in a belly dancing club, really. We just were like in the womb of the school in this basement movement room. And it was this feminine unity and that being held, especially through movement and dance, that something awoken within me. And I completely let go of the idea of becoming a doctor and felt pretty lost, actually,
Mm,
because I was like, what do I do now? I'm not following a conventional path.
right.
And so I definitely empower my clients to take a step outside of what you think that path is that you should do and
Mm,
what society tells you is the normal pathway to go. I just was like, nope, I'm just going to jump ship completely. And that's when I found soul coaching.
mm,
That's when it came to me to be guided in this way and to listen. I was already listening to the soul messages of like, no, don't do that. Do something else.
right.
And luckily I was being held within the feminine. And that
Mm,
was really what made me awaken to this path of working with divine love, with
mm-hmm,
um, my clients are not only women, but I
mm-hmm,
believe in that balance between the masculine
absolutely.
and feminine within
Mm-hmm,
us all. And so that's the definitely we need that masculine energy to keep us going and
mm-hmm,
the feminine to drop us within. So that's a lot of the work that I do is getting to that what is underneath, what's within the body wisdom and the history
mm-hmm.
that we carry with us and our ancestor medicine and all of that.
That's amazing. So for those who may not be as familiar with kind of the divine feminine, especially, how would how do you introduce that to people as a way, as a concept, or as a way for them to recognize that it's within them? What's your approach?
That's a great question. I can relate it to a lot of people understand night and dark, yin and yang kind
Mm,
of polarity energies. And also, most people acknowledge that we're in a very patriarchal masculine energy
for
as
sure.
far as the last couple thousand years of how
Yeah.
the world has been organized and what we are operating system in. And so, some of how to orient to that is what's the opposite, right? How do
Mm,
you instead of the shiny light bright go 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 energy like that womb of what
mm,
is in the dark, and there's a lot of shadow work that comes up in exploring the feminine and
mm,
what is it that you feel within your body, because the feminine is more community oriented and our
mhm,
bodies are a community of cells and of
mhm,
systems, and when we get together with people it's a more nurturing, um, I wouldn't say more loving because the masculine is also very loving. It's just a
mhm.
very different way of expressing it. And so
Of
the
course.
feminine is just a newer way for people to tap into expressing their wholeness. And
Mhm.
that's what I'm here for is the wholeness, 100%.
I love that. I love that. And you've been talking a lot too about the messages from our body. And
Yeah.
so how do you help people to kind of connect with that? I think that in today's world, like you said, it's very masculine, very go, go, go. And I'm not sure people even recognize that, oh, my body's talking to me. So how do you
Yes.
help them with that?
I say it's your intuition that you're following when you're listening to your soul, when you're listening to the messages of your body. And a lot of people feel their intuition in different ways, right? You might feel like a knowingness or a sparkliness, or you see an image or something just hits you. Some people call it a niggle,
Mm,
or, one of those cute words that's like, what's the hunch? What's the gut
mm,
sensation? How do you
mhm,
listen to your body? You pause. And that's why I
mm,
do so much guided meditation is if there's that breath and that pause, we can really listen more clearly to
mhm,
what's going on in there, because your knee might be talking to you and it
mhm.
might have a message for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a little bit about the clients that you're working with, what have you found has really been the most, helpful to them, or maybe it's just a unique situation for everyone, but how do you work with clients? How do you help them kind of connect and just be love or understand self-love?
Yeah, well, our souls are love, right? And with soul
Mm-hmm.
coaching, we're obviously getting down to the root of who we are and that soul wisdom. And I know you're a soul coach as well. And
Hmm.
the biggest tool that I feel like we use in general, I use with my clients for sure, is that soul journey of
Mm,
going within and using a guided visualization and discovering what's in there, right? It's like peeking around with a flashlight. Sometimes you never know what you're going to find.
mm-hmm.
And at the core of us, I believe we are love.
Mm,
And to me, that is that again, in a divine love sort of way, a non-attachment, a surrendering to acceptance of what is. You can not like someone and still love them, right? You can not like your own childhood if there were moments that were really hard or traumas that came up, but still send love back to that inner child and work with the love that you did have, right? Because there's always love somewhere.
Sure.
Always find love somewhere. And I think that's what I do with my clients is I help them find where the love is and then amplify it and help them grow that and grow into more of that. It's always a conscious choice.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. So you've also talked about, you went to school for herbal sciences. Do you are you able to combine kind of the soul coaching work that you do with, say, the herbal work or any of the other kind of modalities that you work with?
Yes, someone really just found me for Reiki online and got one of my little intro package sessions, and she ended up talking about sleep being such an issue, and we were going through kind of what her body was going through and the adrenal glands and how we can nourish those with herbs and help with our sleep cycle. It just comes up naturally in me. That was my first stint of coaching before I became a soul coach 5 years ago. I did so many years in the herbal wellness world and helping people with their health. And so I use my intuition a lot with that. And I always have. So when people are talking, I can't help myself but to weave in some of the wisdom of the herbs in there too.
Of course. Yeah. That's great. So if someone's coming to you and saying, I'm stuck, I'm not sure what my purpose is, I'm not sure, where do I go next? What advice would you have for them? Where should they start?
I love this question because a friend of mine and I were just talking about it, and that inspiration and passion that you had as a small child really informs what you are meant to do in the world. I think there's a lot of, like, we used to dance more, or kids would be so silly, and humor was a huge part of your life as a child. And that childlike wonder and using the curiosity of that child within to go back to explore and kind of dig into and uncover like all the layers of muck that we've put on top from society and teachers and parents and life teaching us that this is the way it should be. I love the practice in soul coaching of replacing could with should, right? It's one of my favorites. And getting into that, like, what was it that really lit you up in the past, and feeling, because it really starts to activate cells in the body, right? You can feel it just talking about it a little bit. It's like, what does my soul really want? It wants to be happy. It wants to be fulfilled and follow that bliss and passion. And I love to say we follow inspired action. Any intention you set, like we're under a new moon right now. And I posted a new moon meditation from my moon circle that I do on the regular. And the intention setting right now and sitting in this energy right now, there's a lot of Taurus energy. It's kind of stuck and we're feeling a little like rigid or heavy. But just there's a knowingness that if you wait for your intuition to show you what next right step to take, you don't have to know 10 steps down the road, but the most inspired action step you can take is the place your soul wants you to go. That's how you know.
I love that. I love that so much. So you talk about childhood, right? And you talk about, and I love the idea of changing could to should, and the empowerment that creates. So is there stuff from your childhood that you can look back on and say, hey, now I know why I am where I am, because when I was a kid, I used to love this or that. Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, I was in love with belly dancing at a young age. My parents were like festival going, and we literally were by the gypsy camp on the regular. And that's where you could find me if I was wandered off. But my mom used to say, you said when you were a little girl, you wanted to be a belly dancer and a waitress. And I did both of those things. I was
there you go.
a waitress, but I think really for me, it's being in service, right? That's to me what I understood a waitress was, like always being of service and bringing someone what they needed. And that's what I do on a soul level now. And movement is such a huge piece for me, because dance and movement is it's the way we tap into our body. It is the way of
Mm,
the feminine. And I love to see men in my community dancing and being really in tune with that. And
yeah.
can see it as a dance between the masculine and feminine within us, and
Hmm.
especially when we're out in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you have male clients as well. And so do you find that often with men that they have just an initial resistance to this idea of divine feminine? I think there are times, especially now, where there is a lot of pushback, right, on women and empowerment, right? Women in a place of power. Um, and I think it's so important for there to be an understanding and a welcoming, right? And a of that power, of that energy. But there just seems to be such a block right now. Like it's a resurgence of something that, I think is just creating some challenges. So how do you help those folks who are just in that place of almost in a place of fear, where they're like,
Hmm.
oh, I don't want to give up my power, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
How would you work with them?
They are usually wounded in a place that is
Mm,
connected to the mother, and again back to
uh,
that child.
mhm,
And that's, it's not to say, you know I mean, I don't want to put down mothers. I'm a mother, right? But
mm,
all of us, we all, even me, have created trauma for our children,
of
right?
course, yeah.
There's trauma in the world, and we're all doing our very best, and
Mhm,
acknowledging that, getting around to that loving relationship with the mother and father within. So if
mm,
divine feminine is a word that's a little bit hard concept for people to get, just understanding that even within us, we have that inner child. We also have an inner father and an inner mother.
I
And
love
just
that.
connecting to the highest possible, like imagining
Hmm.
the perfect mother, the most divinely loving, nurturing, embodied mother
Hmm.
archetype. And same with the divine father, right? And I
Hmm.
think that's what the Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of energy was
Mm,
meant to bring us towards understanding. And we lost the earth mother and the
mm.
divine primal mother and the wild woman and all of the connection to that, and seeing it as sacred as well, because that wild woman does really freak people out. There's a lot of fear around like the
Sure.
crazy or the wild, but that's nature.
Hmm.
I was just weeding the vines out of my garden last night that are just like wildly taking over the honeysuckle. I love it. And
Mm,
just keep it contained.
right, right.
There's enough of that. Like we need the wild, and we also need the container and the structure,
Hmm.
which is the masculine. So
Mm,
having both is the synergy and
I love
the
that.
unity.
So if you were to, connecting with your own soul on this, what is your why for doing this? Why does this lift you? Why does this kind of, what's your why?
I love, my heart just got really big when you asked that, because my why is to empower the feminine on this planet,
Mm,
because I see the imbalance. And I will bring things back to astrology regularly, because that
mhm,
Libra energy is very balanced, and I
mm,
have a large amount of Libra in my chart. My Mars is in Libra, my Venus is in the seventh house, and to me that is finding that balance. So I'm
mm,
just drawn to help people find balance, and want to
mm,
help the world to find balance. And I found it. I don't have it right here in front of me,
mm.
but my soul coaching book, my
Oh,
original book that I
hmm,
got in 19 no, 2003, I think, is when I
hmm.
found that book. I wrote my mission statement, as we do at the end of week one, in there
Right.
as being the divine feminine embodied, so that I could show up, so people would know what it looks like,
Oh, I love that.
be able to entrain to that, feel into that. And so if I can come with that, then that's what I can teach others to embody as well.
Hmm.
So that's
Mm.
my passion, is really around empowering the feminine in
Mm.
everyone. I'm kind of a revolutionary in this. I'm like, you had said it, right? There's a resistance, there's a fear. And
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm on front lines of this mission.
That's more power to you because that is definitely needed, and it is not always a comfortable space, I imagine. But it has to be there. Ugh. Hmm. All right, I'm going to do a quick check to see if we have any questions. For those who, let's see, we have one comment here. Oh, we have someone calling in from South Africa, Varashka Vanderwald. So thank you for joining,
Beautiful.
Varashka.
Welcome. Yeah.
So if anyone has questions as they're listening, please feel free to put them in the chats, either live or in recording, because this will be available, of course.
Yeah, we'll
So
come back and answer questions.
absolutely. So if there were, say, one, two, or three things that you would say everyone needs to know about the divine feminine, what might they be?
About the divine feminine would be, I'm going to say the embodiment piece is just so important to slow down and check in with your body and to notice what's going on in there. And then moving your body and being in tune with the flow. And I think the feminine is nature. And so it's the seasons as well. It's the moon cycle and it's the seasonal cycles. And we talk about that in soul coaching too, the 4 elements, right? And moving through those different parts of yourself and your body. And it's not always in the mental realm. Sometimes it's in the physical body or in the spirit energy field, depending on what you're feeling and where it is, tapping into that with some trust. And trust is another big piece of this feminine of surrendering. And I kind of lean back when I say this and just sort of sink into the concept that you will be held by the feminine, and that's Mother Earth. So you can literally lay down on the earth and just be held by her and just know and trust that she's got your back, and we're here to support each other, because that's the feminine as well, is community. So reaching out to your community if you need the support. I do a lot of circles. I work with Sistership Circle, and I actually teach women how to lead circles. And then fantastic. I have my own embodiment program starting in August that's going to be around Venus and her cycle, because that's that feminine symbol that we have in our astrology. So there's a lot of ways to tap into it. It usually involves someone else, though, too, to connect on some level, right? With another feminine.
So I just have to tell you, before this call, I drew a card, an oracle card from the Sacred Destiny, and I'm just going to share that with you right now. Can you see what it is?
Oh, community. Yes. You see all of my butterflies around. I've even got
That's fantastic. I love the synchronicity of that.
So beautiful. I also pulled a card when we were logging on, and it was a priestess card as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is powerful. The Mother Tarot from, oh gosh, her name. Got it right here. Vicky Noble. And she wrote a book about the double goddess, which is that woman in community. Like, we really do need this partnership, collaboration. Collaboration is a huge word for the feminine.
Yeah, for sure. So it has been amazing to talk to you. I can't believe our time is about up, but what is the best way for people to reach out to you if they have questions, if they want to take a course, they want to join your moon circle? What's the best way?
My website is mindfulspiritcoaching.com. And there you can find a link to get a free discovery call. I would love to meet with anyone that is interested and has questions on how to embody the feminine more, what struggles they might have with it. I'm always available for that. Our moon circles are a membership, and it's only $25 a month. And I do a new moon and a full moon circle every month. And so we've got a community of like-minded individuals that think like this and work together and share, and community is definitely where it's at. And then I have information about my programs. I host the soul coaching program individually, but also in the fall, I'll do a group as well. Great. And yeah, it'd be great to see everyone just check it out and see what is calling. I do offer a free 10-day meditation series that's just it's actually the same meditation every day, but it's just a little inspiration to get you started in the morning with that positive affirmations and embodiment, and it's just a good practice to be meditating regularly, right, Bill? For sure. So that's mindfulspiritcoaching.com. Did I get that right? Okay. So I'm just going to do one more check to see if we have any questions. I think we are good there, but thank you so much. And for those who are listening in now or later, please reach out to Alicia at her website, mindfulspiritcoaching.com.
and hope that you were inspired. I was absolutely inspired. So thank you so much for your time, and thank all of you for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you,
You,
Alicia.
Bill. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.